Join me as I explore the dark history of the Panama Canal and uncover why so many lives were lost during its construction. The Panama Canal is an engineering marvel that has captured the imagination of people around the world. Stretching 50 miles across the Isthmus of Panama, it connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, revolutionizing global trade and commerce. But behind this monumental achievement lies a darker story, one of human sacrifice, tragedy, and unimaginable loss. Every year, thousands of ships pass through the canal, saving time, fuel, and resources. But have you ever stopped to think about the cost of building this wonder of the modern world? The human toll in particular is a story that needs to be told. The Panama Canal is a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance, but it's also a grim reminder of the price that was paid in blood, sweat, and tears. As we explore the history of the Panama Canal, you'll realize that the construction of this massive project was not without its challenges. In fact, it was an endeavor marked by numerous setbacks, false starts, and tragedies that would haunt the project for decades to come. The terrain itself was a major obstacle, with dense jungles, treacherous terrain, and unpredictable weather patterns, making it difficult for workers to even reach the construction site, let alone build the canal. The harsh working conditions were evident from the very beginning. Workers had to contend with blistering heat, torrential rains, and debilitating humidity that sapped their energy and morale. As the construction progressed, the toll on human life became increasingly evident. Disease was rampant, with yellow fever, malaria, and other tropical diseases spreading rapidly through the workforce. The canal's construction was also plagued by engineering hurdles that seemed insurmountable at times. The project required the excavation of millions of cubic meters of soil and rock, the construction of locks and dams, and the installation of complex machinery and equipment. The sheer scale of the project was staggering, and the challenges it posed were unprecedented. From the outset, it was clear that the canal would require an enormous workforce, one that would have to be willing to face unimaginable hardships and dangers. As the death toll mounted, it became clear that the construction of the Panama Canal was not just an engineering challenge, but a humanitarian crisis. Thousands of workers lost their lives in the process, victims of disease, accidents, and sheer exhaustion. The workforce itself was a significant contributor to the high mortality rate. Laborers came from all over the world, many of them lured by the promise of steady work and a steady paycheck. However, the reality on the ground was very different. Workers were subjected to brutal working conditions, long hours, and meager wages that barely covered their living expenses. Labor disputes were frequent, with workers demanding better pay, improved working conditions, and more support from the authorities. But their voices were often drowned out by the din of construction, and their concerns ignored by those in charge. The medical facilities were woefully inadequate, with doctors and nurses struggling to cope with the sheer volume of sick and injured workers. Medical supplies were scarce and treatment options were limited, making even the most minor illnesses potentially deadly. The prevalence of yellow fever and malaria was particularly devastating, with these diseases spreading rapidly through the workforce and claiming thousands of lives. As the canal's construction progressed, the death toll continued to rise, with some estimates putting the total number of fatalities at over 20,000. It was a staggering figure, one that would haunt the project for generations to come. But amidst the tragedy and devastation, there were moments of hope and resilience. The introduction of better medical practices, for instance, helped to reduce the incidence of disease and improve the overall health of the workforce. The introduction of improved engineering techniques also helped to reduce the number of accidents and fatalities on site. It was a slow and painful process, but eventually the death toll began to decline. One pivotal moment came with the appointment of Colonel George W. Goethals as the chief engineer of the project. Goethals brought a sense of discipline and organization to the construction site, implementing new safety protocols and improving working conditions for the laborers. As the canal neared completion, the death toll continued to decline, and the sense of pride and accomplishment grew among the workers. They had faced unimaginable challenges and overcome them, creating something truly remarkable in the process. Today, the Panama Canal stands as a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. But it's also a grim reminder of the human cost of progress, a poignant memorial to the thousands of workers who lost their lives in its construction. The story of the Panama Canal is a complex and multifaceted one, full of triumph and tragedy, heroism and heartbreak. It's a story that deserves to be told and retold, one that reminds us of the human sacrifices that have shaped our modern world. So what do you think about the construction of the Panama Canal? Have any thoughts or questions about this tragic but fascinating chapter in history? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our next video on historical engineering projects.